get with you on this so that maybe we can, work it out and revamp it, so that.
Anytime, answer your questions, I'm here for these people.
Okay, thank you.
That, just the personal moment, that's good to hear that you guys are talking. Hopefully, it gives a little bit of hope to the people sitting here after the arguing, that you guys are talking. And I know it makes me feel better that hopefully I can come and talk to all you guys when, the fire department needs something or anybody else, needs anything, or I need something personally, as a resident also. So that was a sign of hope. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a two-part comment. The first comment was I wanted to know what these people here had that qualifies them to be the chairs of the committees, considering they're all newly elected. But I'll wait until you guys talk and revamp and see what you can come up with. But I also had a second part to my comment. You said that you put the newly elected council members in charge so that they could learn from the people who have been here and have had experience. I can tell you now, if I am I'm a manager of a small office myself. If I were to take the person who I just hired today and put them in charge of the person who's been here for 3 years, I would be fired. You cannot put someone who has no, and I'm not trying to say you guys aren't qualified in any means, but if you take the person who has no experience coming into a job and put them in charge of the person who's been there for 3 years, it doesn't make much sense.
Well, like I said, I will meet with Mary Ann, and we will,
And then
we'll go through this and if she needs what we need, if not, then we'll work something out. Any other public opinions?
Yeah, I'd like to address council. To be perfectly honest, you four people won the election. You're running Folcroft for the next 4 years, whether I like it, they like it, or anybody else likes it. You are the boss of Folcroft. We can be up here arguing and everything. I understand you picking your people, right? You feel you can work with them. We did it. And we do the same thing if we had the chance again, pick our people, right? But the way this meeting was run a week ago, and what happened to Mrs. Serator, that was an absolute disgrace. I was embarrassed sitting up here with everybody. There was a woman that worked 15 years, 14 years for this borough. That meeting, she basically ran it. She was taking the votes, reading them off, reading the names off. When it came to her, she was fired because she did away with her position. She was fired. She left the stage. That was the most humiliating thing I've seen a group. It was like a vigilante after one person. It was absolutely disgusting. And not asking counsel, not asking your solicitor. Me as mayor, I'm publicly apologizing to Judy Serator for the way she was treated. It was absolutely a disgrace. What are we going to do if one of these residents gets on our nerves, gets on your nerves, I should say? Are you going to treat them the same way? I hope not.
Excuse me, I don't believe there was an answer to Mrs. French's question as to why the borough manager has left early several days already.
Her hours are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. She was here late on last Wednesday because we had the finance director in here, so I
My
allowed her to
understanding
leave
though is
early.
there's no comp time in a salaried position. Therefore, if your hours are your hours, you don't make up your hours by working late one day and then leaving early another, is my understanding of a salaried position. Just, wanted to try to clarify that. If your hours are 8 to 4 or 8 to 4:30, whatever they may be, those are your hours. You don't say, I stayed until 6 o'clock yesterday, so I'm gonna leave 2 hours early today. That's not how a salaried position works.
What are the hours for the borough again? 8 to 4:30 or 8 to 4?
8 to 4.
Okay.
However, we do have a secretary that stays here till 4:30.
Okay.
It's in the highway
It's in her
contract.
contract.
So she's 8 to 4:30 and Miss Lesko's only 8 to 4?
Correct.
Okay. So there's 2 secretaries then?
There's also a part-timer, Lauren Holden.
Hooven.
She's sitting right there.
Lauren, yes.
even know her name.
Lauren's
Laura.
here.
Laura.
Laura, I'm sorry.
Laura Hooven.
Laura works from 9 to 2, in assisting in the office.
And she was interviewed. I interviewed her. Just so you know.
Finance committee did.
She was
I'm
hired.
glad somebody was interviewed.
Before you start, yeah, she was hired. I mean, interviewed. That, I don't think there was 6 people interviewed that day.
Yes, Ms. Barber.
Can I get a list of the contact phone numbers for, and also can, I get a printout budget for the fire department from the, I guess, the finance director, sorry. Please. And I would like that monthly, please. If that's okay, you can mail it, email it, fax it, whatever you want, whatever's best for you. What?
So if you can meet up with Joe
Sure will.
and give him your email information.
Sure will.
We'll be able to get you that.
Thank you. Yes.
I have something to say. I was here one day after 4 o'clock, and Tony was here all by herself. I feel that she should work until 4:30 because I don't think it's safe for anyone to be in the building by themselves.
That
especially
was
at
the
this
contract
size.
that they made with Tony and her union.
Okay, but her being,
She's not contracted.
it doesn't matter. You should have set her hours till 4:30, so Tony's not here by herself.
That might be something we wanna talk about, because when we changed the kind of a contract, when we settled that, it changed everybody in the office, so. It's, you know, that's why Judy was 8 to 4:30, so, we felt you couldn't do one without the other, that it went across the board, so. It's good. Something else to think about.
She works 8 to 4. What time's the borough office again?
8 to 4, but there is a secretary here till 4:30.
Does she get a lunch?
The secretary,
No, her.
she's been eating at her desk. She's been so busy.
Alright.
So she doesn't leave the building.
Alright, so that's a lunch. So she's getting paid to eat lunch. So she's making.
I just spoke with Ms. French, we're going to review that. Thank you. Yes,
I'm sorry, but I'm really just stuck on the fact that she doesn't even live in the borough.
I'm sorry.
That's just crazy. I mean, with the unemployment rate as it is, and so many people qualify within the borough for this position, I think it's absolutely insane that she does not live in this borough. Does anyone else up there that is sitting up there not live in this borough that we don't know about? Where do you live?
In Springfield.
Really?
That's different.
He's in Delaware County.
At least it's in Delaware County.
We're supposed to be a community, and we're supposed to work together. And we elected you to sit up there, and you seem to be taking your little portion and going this way, when they're going this way. So, it's, yes, thank you. And there's so much going on in this, I'm sorry, but I've been dealing with so much stuff for the last 3.5 years. Mary Ann and I have gone and spoken about this house that I live next to that is completely a health hazard, but yet we don't have a health inspector. I can't get anybody out to look at this home, but yet I got bugs, and I am the cleanest person that you could ever imagine. There's someone hit on my street, like, all the time, whether it's pet, whether it's an animal, like, a kid, whatever. We've got to do something about the speeding here. We've got to do something about the kids fighting. My son is due in court because he's a witness. This is ridiculous. It needs to stop. It needs to settle down in here. Somebody needs to put their foot down and say, this is not going to happen anymore. Whether you're a homeowner, whether you're a renter, you still live in the same place. You still need to take care of it. You're still paying the damn money that everyone else is paying.
I guess when was it, Christmas Eve, where that person got hit on Taylor? New Year's Eve. I live on Bellevue, and I had no other people on this street live in this room live on Delview, and we have constantly have people flying down that street. Am
I live
right?
on Bayard. Willow
Yeah.
Avenue is a death trap. If you ever try and cross over Willow Avenue, God forbid my elderly neighbor ever take her own trash out without having a car going 90 miles an hour down Willow Avenue.
That man that hit that other man on Taylor Drive, an hour before, we were all outside, our children and all, and he comes speeding down. We yelled at him, he slammed on his brakes, got out of the car, got face to face with my husband. My husband was ready to take him down because he was wasted.
He should have.
And
He should have.
an hour later, he almost killed someone. That's ridiculous.
We need to get more cops out or do something about Taylor, Carter, Bellevue.
Insane.
I mean, people fly down my street.
We've been begging for little speed bumps.
Yeah.
They say, oh, well, it's up to whomever. Well, we found out it's up to the borough. We can, as a borough, we can do something like that. We need to. I don't let my kids outside because I'm afraid they're gonna get hit. Because they don't care. They just speed, they don't care.
There will probably never be speed bumps on the road. That would just cause more problems.
It'll take somebody's unfair.
What are you gonna do with the SEPTA buses?
Yeah.
Go at night.
Around the corner on Taylor Drive and almost turn over. I watched two kids almost get hit, and they were on the sidewalk. Sidewalk.
They go all day long.
Around in Delaware County, why are we the only ones
Gotta come.
that get the privilege? Like,
In Ridley, it goes right down McDade.
You're not gonna do anything.
Let it go down Delmar Drive.
And when they check their speed, it's always a SEPTA
Right at 'em.
Jeep with a yellow light on it, so they know. You
And you're
know,
right,
we,
they've been
we
here
tried
for
it.
Yeah,
I
except,
took it to Friendly many moons ago.
yeah, except that's a battle that,
And they do, they'll come out, they slow down for a while, and then we're back to their speeding again. We did eliminate, Nick, help me out here, the night bus.
The one-
You did
The
good
night
on
bus,
it. It's
which one
better
did
than
we
what
get
it
rid
was,
of?
but can
The
our
airport
police
bus?
go after the
No, the one that was
SEPTA
going down
buses?
Taylor.
Whatever, one of them we got rid of the one on.
There's one going down Taylor.
Can our police target the SEPTA buses?
Yeah,
At least the ones that blow stop signs all the
Yeah,
time.
is the chief out there?
Yes, chief out there?
He was out there. He was out there.
You'd have to ask him if they can write a ticket on.
If there's nobody at that bus waiting for the bus at the stop sign, then just go right through.
Here comes the police.
Question for you, chief.
They got a question for you.
Accept the buses?
Yeah, we allowed to ticket them?
I'll call tomorrow, again.
We allowed to ticket them? They
Yeah, we can ticket them.
Can our police go after them?
Yeah.
If there ain't nobody waiting for the stop, the bus stop where the stop sign's at, they just blow the sign all the time.
Yeah, you're right, I've seen it on Grant Road myself, so I have somebody I usually call there, he usually comes out, they have come out in the past. They've sent two guys in plain clothes to
I mean,
monitor
it was
their
good
buses.
for a while, but
Right.
they're going back to the way they were.
I'll call tomorrow,
got a
Thanks,
stamp.
Bob.
sure.
Just one question. In front of 7-Eleven, is there a school bus that comes through there in the afternoon?
okay. So it's our school bus, the Southeast Delco bus?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And they're small children.
So the kindergarten kids,
Yes.
am I correct?
We do not have a
Okay.
crossing guard going there. Are we allowed to
I've
have
heard
a
about
crossing
that.
guard? Rogo?
In part, that's up to the school district, it's not only just
It's-
Folcroft, it's
yes,
also up to the
it's-
school district.
And there's
No, I wanted to ask that question for the school district.
From when my kids went to school, there's never been.
And it's very, very busy in
It's
here
at the top of
afternoon.
Taylor Drive and Delmar Drive.
Yeah, there's never
We
been.
can
At
approach,
7-Eleven.
we can approach.
And I have two
the
subs
bus.
also available,
Okay,
in line. If that's, I'm allowed to do that. But we definitely need a crossing guard
crossing guard.
at 7-Eleven, Delmar and Taylor Drive.
Yeah. And that's on pickup and drop off.
Yes.
When they drop off, are they dropping off on the 7-Eleven side?
No, they drop off
They're
on
dropping
top
off on
of
the
hill.
Delmar side,
And they
or
walk
on the
across.
Taylor
And
side,
there's also
and they
traffic.
walk across.
Yes, they walk across, so that's why they need a crossing guard on 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Okay,
In the morning and in the afternoon.
okay.
And I have two subs also.
You have two subs that would be willing to move into a position to do that?
Yes.
Okay. I guess we would have to go to Mr. Butts. I'm not sure if that's a Southeast Delco,
I believe it is Southeast Delco route.
but I'm saying, I'm not sure, I know with the crossing guards, the school district is in charge of a certain portion, and the borough is in charge. So I need to know, I guess I need to go to them to find out if we can put a crossing guard there.
That crossing guards? No, I work for pupil services.
No, I need for the school district.
Yeah, I know, but that's gotta come from Mr. Butts. I mean,
I have
Well,
Mr.
I
I have,
question it because I was informed that it's a very busy corner. My children are on that corner and they're little guys.
I understand it's a full bus that gets off there. I've been told it's a full bus.
Yes.
And they
wait, are
just-
these
they
kids
just-
crossing to go to Ravenwood?
Yes.
Why aren't they used to be dropped off in Ravenwood?
They
Why don't-
changed all the bus routes. They
Maybe
changed
that's,
a lot of the bus routes.
well,
Because-
that's easy, because A, we put another crossing guard, there you go, you gotta pay for it. Or you go to them and say,
They need
go back to the old
bus
days,
route.
drop the Ravenwood kids in Ravenwood, and
And
they'll
then
have
come and
village
then drop
kids.
off for Taylor.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's what they, right, Lisa, that's what they always did before.
They actually had a route through Ravenwood.
Yeah, they did, yes.
They waited 2 years ago, they changed all the bus routes. I live up on Woodland Avenue, cul-de-sac up here, and they actually wanted my children to pick the bus up at the Sharon Hill trolley stop for
Well, these are
school.
little ones, that's one.
And there's no crossing guards on Chester Pike. You can go down Chester
Right.
Pike in the morning and oh my God, it is,
Yeah, that they never had either.
it's unbelievable. These kids they just run them up across
Well, I'm
Chester
concerned
Pike.
because it's their children. They're-
Right, I
they
understand
get
that.
hit
Any
and,
child, any
you know,
child.
and they're small
So
ones.
I
They're like-
went 2
I
years
was-
ago and fought to get my bus stop back. I went to Mr. Butts and
Well,
to
if
the
you
Director
can
of
look into
Transportation.
it for me, I appreciate it, because it's, we either need a crossing guard there.
Do you know where the stops were on Ravenwood? Was it like Ravenwood and then what's the other street? Valley View was like the one there and then one on the other end? Do you remember?
I think back in the day, it was, isn't that Summit?
Summit,
Summit, Valley View,
and Valley View,
Ravenwood.
Yeah. That's it.
and then all they gotta do is make a loop to Valley View and come around the other end of that other stop
Yeah,
sign.
come off
and drop
it,
the
come
other
out of
half
Summit.
there.
Yeah, you can come out
And
of
have it
Summit.
at Taylor Drive. To eliminate the crossing.
And Taylor Drive. Like,
Where I was
that
trying
comes
to
up
figure out
Taylor
what to do
Drive.
with all these kids going down.
And,
Sorry, what? The bus comes up Taylor Drive?
Comes up and these kids off, and the kids gotta cross Delmar Drive on
Okay,
the side of 7-Eleven.
okay.
So if he comes up Taylor, why can't he just turn down Delmar and go up Ravenswood?
Oh, no, I'm not a school bus
Yeah.
driver.
I know. No, I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm not paying flat, but I'm not like.
I know you're not,
crossing
no,
guard. I'm in
that's,
charge of,
that would be the,
Yeah,
Okay.
so, I mean, we can get that settled.
Any other comments?
I have pictures of this house that I live next to. And I wanna know what it is. Huh?
Still empty?
It's been vacant for almost a year, more than a year. Well, the bank doesn't wanna take, this is what everybody's telling me, is that nobody wants to take ownership of this house. I have pictures, there is food in every single room of this house. Well, they stay, right now, they live in.
Has the code enforcer issued citations, we know if the code enforcer issued citations for,
What's the address so I can go to code inspectors?
Oh my God, it's right next to me. I'm 1938 and it's
36 or 40.
1940. It's 1940.
She was there.
Yeah.
1940.
Carter Road.
We will,
But I think the problem was they couldn't get a hold of anybody and you just can't break the door down.
there's been citations issued, I can, if council wants, I can maybe write a letter to the bank that owns the property.
My lawyer has already done that. My lawyer has already told me that you, sir, have, you're able to turn around and do something about this, that you can have somebody go in there and clean it up. Because it's in your borough, yes.
You can, under the international
I got no
property.
problem doing it.
I'm just
Under the
afraid.
International Property Maintenance Code, if you provide them with notice, you tell them that if you don't do it, we're gonna do it, then we're gonna bill it back. And that's an option you have under the International Property Maintenance Code. Then you have to lien, the property, for the cost. I believe that's the way that process is going. That's across from me 3 years. But that would be something that would come from the code inspector. Listing things that should be done, then you provide that notice to them. And time to comply. When they don't comply, then, you know, the notice says the right things, or the billing, and do the work.
But, all right,
I'm
all the
just
red
giving you the
tape,
option.
but what I'm saying is, I have an asthmatic child. I can't do what it is that I need to do in order to keep this from spilling over into my house. Bottom line is, I want it cleaned up. I want it sprayed down and taken care of. And I don't care about the red tape. I just want it done. For 3.5 years, I've had to deal with the noisiness, the cops. They have a file like you would not believe on this house. And the people that live
occupied in
there,
there?
no.
So
They
it's
are
locked
gone.
up? But
The
they left
bank
everything.
did come and said they secured it, but the windows are reversed, meaning that the locks are on the outside, so you can get into that house. That's how the person from the bank got in there.
Well,
So that house is unsecure at the moment.
you don't wanna board it too, then it's gonna start looking like dorm, you know, boards on windows.
So if we could take care of this before they start coming back out again.
We will get Raymond to do a letter, we'll put a lien, whatever we can get clean up for you. Because you shouldn't have to live like that. It's just uncalled
I
for.
spent a lot
That they
of time
left
in my house.
food.
Every single room of this house.
Madam President, before you adjourn, I do have a procedural question for you, if I could. So tonight, we had a voting meeting, and we didn't actually talk about any committees, we didn't go over any. So am I to assume that Tuesday will be a non-voted meeting because nothing has come out of committee? Okay.
We're still having meetings Tuesday.
Sure.
We are regular council. This was advertised as a special meeting.
I understand, so we're gonna do a committee meeting after this meeting?
I didn't plan on having a committee meeting because I didn't feel that there was any new business to bring to the meetings.
I'll ask the solicitor because he seems to think that we're gonna have some voting things on Tuesday. This is the time normally that.
My only thing, Mr. McWigan, if there are things that need to be voted upon, the meeting is advertised already, especially voting the meeting. If there is business that needs to be transacted, no business that needs to be transacted, the president has to like to cancel the meeting.
I'm not looking for the meeting to get canceled.
No,
All I'm saying is, we have, is there anything else before we adjourn this evening that we should talk about in committee before we get to next Tuesday? Because the past forever in Folcroft, the way the meeting was conducted is this was used as a work session where we discussed everything that we would be voting on the following week. Now, I understand there may have been some changes made. We said, Madam President, we were gonna go over that before we left. We're coming to the end of audience participation. I just wanna make sure that I know how the meetings are gonna be conducted, so I can prepare accordingly.
At this time, I'm not aware of anything that we need to voting on. I don't know of any new business for any committees. Granted, if something comes up between now and next Tuesday, everyone will be aware of it and we will discuss it at that point. I'd like to get your email addresses also so that you can communicate. You know, because if you have something that you wanna discuss, you want it done.
You don't go live there, you shouldn't run.
Right.
I'm not giving that money back.
No, I would give grant money back if
I still have, check with the chief, I think there's 20,000 left out of, traffic receipts.
What do we have to use that for?
But what we did with the 100,000, that should have been done last year. We did go to DCD and they extended it another year, so we should probably get that extended.
No other business, I'd like to call this meeting adjourned. Objections?
With my Dave Stein birthday. You're such a dick. Legitimate question.
Not just Jay.
That's a legitimate question.
Rough crowd, huh?
That's good issue on basketball.
We're in trouble. Yeah, no kidding. Should be like that forever.
Are you? Oh, I'm